Hey guys, this is a market update. In this video, the latest data from ARK Invest, Bitcoin and crypto fundamentals here. So we're going to look at this data and also relate it to the price of Bitcoin and the macro environment right now. I'll leave timestamps below for all of that. I believe we are in the last legs of the hawkish rhetoric because the one data point that is going to change everything is unemployment. We've seen in the forward-looking data, this is gathering steam now. There are more job losses and more job losses in the forward-looking data and anecdotally from big firms as well. And that is going to start showing eventually in the backward-looking data that the Fed looks at. And that is really what they're looking at. It's unemployment. Everything else is really just rhetoric and not important. The important thing is as soon as unemployment starts ticking up, that's when the Fed is done. And we can see over the short term, rates are going higher, which is bad for risk assets, bad for Bitcoin price. But I think it's an opportunity because we're getting some weakness in the price of BTC short term. We all know what the long term is, and that is unemployment will start ticking up, the economy will go softer, and the Fed will be done with their hawkishness, and financial conditions will ease, and easier financial conditions means Bitcoin and crypto then go onto a new bull run towards next year. So that's what I'm looking at now, buying on any weeklist personally. If you're a trader, come and trade with me on Bybit, up to $4,000 deposit bonus on Bybit. Check the link in the description for the details. Bitcoin fundamentals are looking fantastic at this stage in a bear market or the consolidation before the next bull market. Bitcoin ordinals are highlighted here. Ordinals are kind of like NFTs on Ethereum, and they've had a great effect on Bitcoin block space with much more demand. Some people don't like them. I think they're great because Bitcoin is an open network. Can't control what people do on there, but it's a ledger and it's being used as a ledger, and that's the best news because you want this network to grow. The macro uncertainty highlighted in this report for me is actually a positive and an opportunity because Bitcoin is in a cyclical bear market or coming out of that in a 14-year secular bull market. And so invest at the bottom of the cycle with macro uncertainty with the secular bull market in Bitcoin growth in the network, with ordinals also creating more demand for block space. So weakness in the macro is actually an opportunity for me. Also, you can see here in terms of the fundamentals, mining difficulty is very positive. That's good because miners coming onto the network means that the network is in demand and there's profits to be made from mining, which is obviously good for the network generally. All-time high for hash rate right here. So, no problems there. We can also see the Lightning Network is at an all-time high in BTC terms, not an all-time high in dollar terms, because obviously the price is way down. This is great news. This shows that the Bitcoin Lightning Network is being used more and more as that instant, basically free payments network. So we're seeing more and more videos in many different countries where shops, holiday destinations, are accepting Lightning Network payments. This is great news for the network in general. So very pleasing to see this growth even during a kind of macro bear market. Bitcoin is actually very oversold comparative to previous bear markets in terms of the price only. So what we can see here is the price in black, then the red is the 200-week moving average. It's a really, really long-term indicator just of price. And as you can see, whenever we hit that, that is obviously the best time to buy it. Every time it has bounced off that. In this bear market, it hasn't done that. It's actually gone below for a significant period of time. Just a confluence of factors, incredibly hawkish from the Fed. Rates have never been this high for a generation. And we've also seen many blow-ups of the biggest scale, in this case, FTX, Luna, which have been in nominal dollar terms so much bigger than anything else. But every time we've come down to this in a bear market has been that accumulation zone, and we are in that right now. As you can see, we've actually moved above the 200-day moving average. So this is potentially what you would see when the market turns from bear to bull. From bear to bull, you do see some of those moving averages getting taken out. So as you can see here, we took them all out in the previous bear in 19, and then this was the COVID crash here, quick down and then up again. And we're kind of going through that process now, trying to figure out if this is actually the start of, a new bull market where you would cross those moving averages. Maybe the macro is going to keep us down for maybe a few more months, 3, 4, 5 months, but we all know the long-term trend is that eventually when unemployment starts ticking up and the economy gets a little bit weaker, we know what central banks are going to do. So again, maybe they will keep it down for a little bit longer, but it seems like the market is trying to turn, and speculators over the short term are potentially trying to trade the turn from bear into at least consolidation before the bull. Short-term holders are in a profit now, first time in a long time. In ARK's view, this is bullish. I tend to agree for now because we're still actually way to the downside from the high. If you can see previous bull markets, you can see short-term holders go into a very, very high amount of profit. That's bearish if you're at the top of a bull market, because obviously the next phase is a sell-off or a consolidation into a bear market potentially. For right now, I still consider this bullish because we're just coming out of a bear market, it looks like here. So for the short term, it looks like we've just changed the market structure a little bit, which I agree is bullish for this point. Now, when the short-term holder profitability comes up to 200% or so, that's probably as an investor where you're saying maybe it's overdone. But for right now, yeah, I agree. This is kind of a bullish change in momentum at least. Long-term holders, though, are still not in profit, and this shows us that the price is still nowhere near bull market territory. And so that's why I'm still accumulating, still within the accumulation stage for me and dollar cost averaging stage, down near bear market lows. So as we can see here, at the bottom of every bear market, you can see previously, that's where the long-term holders are in the biggest loss, and we're still there now. So for me, still in the accumulation phase for sure. It doesn't really matter what the price is here, whether it's 25, 20, you're missing the big picture. I think if you're worrying about that, each bear market low, that's where we are. So this is a potential bear market low here, still accumulation and DCA phase for me. We also can't escape the kind of clownish way in which the US administration has going after crypto here, going after the crypto banks, trying to shut everything off. I understand the reaction here, but the good news is I think that things are happening that really just are great for cryptocurrency. The first one is the XRP is going through the case against the SEC right now. It looks like the judge is favoring XRP here and not the SEC. Whether you invest in XRP or not, a favorable ruling for XRP is probably bullish for the rest of crypto as well. The second thing is GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, trying to move that into a spot ETF. The judge is basically calling the SEC clowns at this point, that they have basically no arguments to allow a futures ETF where the price is based off of the spot price and not allow a spot ETF. So at this point, it looks like the judge is favoring them as well against the SEC. That doesn't mean that a spot ETF will be approved, but at least I think it's generally positive that judges are seeing that there's just no legal basis to stop crypto and its products. So that's very good news overall for the industry. BUSD has been a casualty here, as you can see. Essentially, I think Binance is they're trying to shut Binance out of the US and trying to stop Binance accessing that market. Political reasons for that one. Unfortunate for Binance, but there are other stablecoins, of course. But for right now, it looks like judges in the States are actually, favoring crypto companies or crypto networks that operate on these networks rather than the SEC, which generally is good news for crypto. There is a lot of good fundamental news for crypto right now in terms of if US judges are favoring crypto companies or crypto networks. That is great for the long term. Short term, you can see the macro situation just going to keep us down a little bit longer. For ARK, this is bearish, as you can see. This is PCE, which is inflation. It signals that consumers are becoming less confident about their financial situation. A recession isn't great for BTC. You're not going to see new highs in a recession. You're going to see new highs when we come out of that recession into the next bull market. And so, again, for me, this is bearish for price short term, but actually an opportunity if you are a long-term investor to invest at the bottom of a cycle within a secular bull market for BTC. And as we can see here, this is long-term treasury rates. Again, we saw that they're pretty much over 5% on the 2-year right now. That's not great for risk assets. This is going to start coming down when the recession hits and when unemployment starts ticking up, which again isn't the best news generally for everyone in the economy, but we know these cycles take place. The cycles take place, we'll go towards lower rates coming out into a consolidation into a next bull market. So again, these high rates short term are actually an opportunity because they're making the Bitcoin price softer. As a long-term investor looking out into the next cycle, that's great news. Talking about cycles, we're right on track as well. The next Bitcoin halving is going to be around this time next year. And we know what happens with Bitcoin halvings. The blue line's right here. Bitcoin halving into new all-time high. Bitcoin halving into new all-time high. And then we have the Bitcoin halving here. going into potentially, is it a new all-time high? We'll have to see. This green box here is when I think potentially rates will start topping out and start maybe coming down again. And so that actually coincides with the next Bitcoin halving. So for me, absolutely perfect timing. We're in the yellow zone right here, which is the accumulation zone before the next halving. That's just my opinion. I shared this with the crypto investor course private groups as well, just to show people where I am. So check the crypto course linked in the description if you want, and get the Bybit deposit bonus down there as well. I'm James with MoneyTG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.